Right. Good evening everyone and welcome along to FRL Live. We are here tonight for FRL. It is F1, it is Season 17, it's round number 6 of the championship, as of course we take in the round number 6, round number 8 I should say, as we take in the Portuguese Grand Prix from, of course, the Algarve International Circuit. My name is James Head, going to be taking to the stream with 10 seconds to go until we get into this qualifying session. Joining me in the commentary box, indeed, for the rest of the season as well, it is Mr. Michael F. Well, Michael, how you doing?
I've been better compared to yesterday because I got a bit of a runny nose at the start, probably of my cold for the next few days. But I feel still very good to go. It's still up and running to be alongside you this evening.
Yeah,
confirms.
As long as you're alive and kicking, that's all that matters to me, and that's all that matters, I'm sure, to all of our viewers that are tuning in there as well. If you're wondering where last week's stream was, well, we were on Twitch because somebody forgot the password to the FRL login for YouTube, i.e. me, which is why we had to stream on Twitch. Luckily, though, found the password first time, and now got in, of course, on tonight's stream. And if you were wondering, of course, what happened last week, of course, in Italy, and it was a very interesting race. It was Macho, of course, who took the win, following on from a second place, of course, in Monaco. Second place last week was Jensen, the returning man, not racing tonight, unfortunately, the Shazoo man there in second, and Bolo with a very, very strong third position, I believe, getting that penalty removed after that incident, of course, on the final couple of laps of the race, so that is why he finished third there in the standings. What did that do to the championship? Well, it is as close as ever it has been, really. Name changer leading the way on 139 points, had a really, really poor race last week in Monza. And in second is Macho on 130 points. He, of course, won last week. Third is Charlie on 63 points, about as high as the UK representative will be for Eurovision. I'm guaranteeing that as well. Charlie's got more points than May Muller as well from Eurovision on Saturday. Bunty there in fourth on 62. Keki there in fifth on 51. Then Zero in sixth on 44. Papine in seventh on 40. He's not racing tonight. Davenenko, I don't believe, is either. He's in eighth on 24. Bobby there in ninth on 21. And then Liam in 10th on 20 points. And coming into tonight, name changer obviously out on top. Macho just 9 points behind him. And around a track like this, Michael, Portugal, which we don't really see in the F1 calendar these days, this track could be a potential championship decider.
Yeah, definitely. But unfortunately, we won't be seeing this on the next year's game, I believe, unless it'll be added on for a special
legacy track
effect. Yeah, but yeah, it's a very, very exciting track, very a loopy track as well. It's all up and down, pretty much a roller coaster all the way through, which will be very unstable for the cars at certain corners. Turn 1, if you hit the sausage curb on the first corner, you will be going 160 degrees around. So it's important to keep hitting track limits here, because around here everyone will be quite equal. I can see probably a lot of DRS trained to each other, because when you're out of the DRS, it can be very hard to get back up.
Yeah, we will definitely see that, and you're completely right about this track. It is like a roller coaster. It is given the nickname of the roller coaster circuit, of course, here at the Algarve International Circuit. Autodromo Nacional de Algarve, to give it its full name, as Neil Zarno, on that set of medium compound tyres, is now the first to set up on a lap. Of course, we saw him appear last week in Monza, and he'll be hoping for a very good result here tonight on the run down towards Turn 1. But judging by him not using up any ERS down the straight, I don't think he's actually going to go for a flying lap here. So we'll flick on board with the man that is behind him out on track, and I believe that might be Tex Rex, who was invalidated, and now we'll go on board with FRL Charlie, who's on a set of medium compound tyres.
He's not on a flying lap, because I think he got holding up by Tex Rex, but I think the next person is second place in the championship of Macho. Hopefully he can get through the traffic just ahead of him. Oh dear, as we see Williams somehow losing it before the apex, which is bizarre. I'm guessing that was name changer. Either way, it's quite embarrassing. But he is a Williams driver. There we go. Nearly halfway through the lap with Macho. Keeping it nice and tidy, obviously not collision with anyone, thank God for ghosting, otherwise I would have been qualifying over for him. But he will be the first one to complete the lap. Obviously last night we had a 117. Obviously with F1 drivers there, we should possibly get probably in the 115s. But we'll have to wait and see. Obviously these are going to be just banker laps for now. And obviously waiting later on for the track to rubber in and get all the grip that it needs right at the end of the session.
Yeah, right at the end of the session, very, very squirrely there, coming out of turn number 13 as well. Now through turn 15 at Galp, through the final corner, on the run toward the line with Macho, setting up on a 117 flat to begin off the night. So not a bad lap there at all from him. I'm going to put it right down and say that we could get maybe a very high 115. I would say more around the 16.3, 16.4 mark, I think, around here in terms of pole position. Macho there out on top. Name changer, who you said was in a Williams, is actually in an Alfa Romeo this season. Was in Williams previously, I believe, in FRL. Tex Rex and Neil Zano, I believe, are teaming up in the Williams here tonight. Mr. Rage there going second as well. Not raging with that lap. 17.7 ahead of Bunty there in third, so not a bad lap there at all as Name Changer comes through the final corner. He's not on a valid lap, and I think actually he's going on to one.
Sorry, we'll have a little bit of an incident in ninth place. Probably lost it on traction down the hill. So luckily he hasn't lost any damage, just a little bit of damage on the bollard as Name Changer has left the session. As we're not, I'll try and get him in as you carry on with quali.
Yep, no worries at all. Thank you very much for doing that in access. Pelly is coming through Sagways, I think it is at turn number 14, through the final corner. He is absolutely all over the shop. He better come into the pit lane and back off his lap as he goes for full 360 coming through Galp. Nicely controlled there, actually, Pelly, from the Dutchman's perspective. Gets out of the way of Macho, who's coming through. Takes the extended pit entry, actually, which the World Endurance Championship is used to here in the past. But Pelly speeds in the pit lane. He better put on a fresh set of rubber because he has got... he'll try and get a better lap, of course, in on the board as Charlie's gone there fourth. Bullboy there going fifth as well, so not looking too bad at all. Rocco is the man that I'm now on board with now. Purple in the first sector, 22.2, not up on Macho's time, however, in the first sector, so Rocco will be looking to try and get himself on. He has had a good result around here in the past, so hopefully we can see that as Bobby has gone now second on that second set of soft compound tyres, or that second lap, I should say, on that set of soft compound tyres. Rocco controlling the car nicely through Portimao. 52.3 in the middle sector, not looking too bad. He's going to go around, I would say, Bunty, Charlie, that sort of area, I think, with this lap.
Yeah, and he's got a clear track ahead of him, so yeah, shouldn't have make too much mistakes. Obviously, need to be quite easy on the power on this last corner here, because obviously it can easily catch you out, especially losing the back end down this hill, because it elevates down here, and then it goes uphill, up towards the line. Pretty much the only level part of the track, and he goes P2. Still 6/10 off though, so Macho's first banker lap could already be the one to beat. As probably see a Williams, no, I think it's a McLaren who is on a flight. No, I think that's probably just coming into his lap on his second lap on those softs. Could be an Aston Martin next. I think it will. Nope, Bolo's already completed that. So I think a few people are doing their cool down laps now. Oh, Stephen. I think he's on a second lap by the looks of it.
No, he's down.
No, he's not. No, he's draining his battery. Obviously, he disconnected yesterday after a very unfortunate performance. Hopefully, he's trying to redeem himself by racing tonight. Sana is doing another lap on mediums. Obviously, Charlie's done the same as well. So they are coming into the pits as... I don't know who else is on a lap at the minute. I think Stephen is actually doing a lap now, starting his lap with 50% of battery left. So we could be on...
I was going to say, I wouldn't be surprised, actually, if Stephen is going more race trim than anything else. I mean, a 19.2, very respectfully, he wasn't on a lap there, so he might be going for another run, as you mentioned. That, I think, will probably be to get the practice in within this qualifying session and take this back pretty much like a practice session, I think, from his perspective. And he is up in the first sector, so very good first sector so far from him. 22.4, not obviously going to be on Macho Rocco sort of level in terms of his pace, but he is going to be around that Basmati Tex Rex, that sort of area, I would think, is where he might feature in this qualifying session. Now coming through the right hand of turn number 8 at Samsung Corner, named after, of course, the famous phone brand that many people might have, including me. And now up the run in towards turn number 10 at Portimao, which of course is actually the village that is named on the outskirts of the circuit, which is why the track is commonly known as Portimao, because given the location out on track. Coming now through the left-hander turn number 13, then in towards Sagres at turn number 14, which is this right-hander right here, and old Stephen was 900 down on his lap. He has run out pretty much a battery though, so he is going to struggle if he is going to come. I wouldn't be surprised if he does come in the pit lane. If he's not, then he is going for a bit of a race trim, and yeah, he's into the pit lane. Not surprised by that at all. Old Stephen there, down 11th. However, I believe Macho is on lap 21.999 in the first sector, 3,000s down. And what he said originally, in towards the right hand of Portimao now at turn number 10. We'll see what his sector split is through the middle sector. And yeah, he's nearly a tenth and a half up through that middle sector. Looked a lot cleaner coming out of there. 51.7, and not looking too bad at all as we approach halfway in qualifying.
Yeah, obviously now the track is rubbering now it's getting more hard, so the grip will be there at the end. People will find a couple of tenths here and there for other laps, so we could see Macho going in the 116s here, as you say. Would it be 16 and a half?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, about 3 tenths off the 16 and a half barrier, but he's done a brilliant job from him. Nearly a second quicker, just to remind. To the rest of the field, as you see, Mr. Ray just gone for a little spinner up the hill halfway through the lap. I don't know where that is.
That's a turn 8.
Yeah, turn 8. Luckily he managed to get out of the way. It looks, I think McLaren is on a flying lap of Bobby. He's just started his lap, so we'll come back to him later. Ball Boy, the one lap wonder himself, is coming towards the end of his lap in P8 so far. Not doing too bad in this F1 qualifying event.
No, he's
ahead. Go on.
Yeah, he's ahead of Joe's. He's ahead of Baz Matthews so far, so this is not looking too bad. I believe he's actually on a lap now. He's going to improve big time actually on this lap. 18.2, 4/10 improvement there from Ball Boy. So are we sure he's not getting Daniel Abt to race maybe in his place here tonight? He's there in 8th position, doing a great job. Tex Rex, I think, is the next one to come across the line. I don't think he was actually on a lap, so he's just preparing up for one. Pelly is 52.3 in that middle sector, so he's not looking too bad. A look around Charlie sort of area. I think Bunty just came in there with a lap to go 6th. Bolo there in 5th as well. Bobby, I believe, is coming through the final couple of corners as well, and he is 700s up on his time, 52.1 in that middle sector. On the run to the line with Bobby, and in the end only 1,000th of a second down on his lap time. Pelly now comes to the line and jumps him, goes second. Not a bad lap there at all. And Pelly...
Oh no, sorry, a little bit of miscommunication of both Stephen and Charlie down in turn 1. Charlie had to abort, and a Williams of Tex Rex has gone to spin halfway through the lap, but yeah, Charlie was on a flying lap on the softs, but Stephen miscommunication coming out of the pit lane and blocked him into turn 1, so unfortunate for Charlie, he has to go again. So
yeah,
luckily he avoided it well to not crash into each other, so that's very good to see. He's got another chance to get a run in. Bobby, I think he's going for another run, judging how he's opened the DRS.
No,
because he did. Okay.
He just improved.
That confirms it.
Yeah, he just improved 17.7. It wasn't actually a bad lap actually from Bobby on his run. He is on a cool down lap, if you can call it. He's got about 80% of his ERS left, so he can use that up if he wants to. Rocco though going second now ahead. He's just gonna listen next lap in validation as well, just going on his down lap. Pelly though in third. Very, very surprised about his pace. 17.4. He said in the past that he does like this track. He didn't expect a result around here. Given how name change is not in the lobby and he's trying to get his router working at this stage, name changer down at 15. Once name changer sets a fully fledged lap in, he's going to be up with Macho. Pelly's going to be in 4th, and I still wouldn't be too surprised because Pelly's pace is actually pretty good around here.
Yeah, I mean, obviously he hasn't really had the best of races so far, the last few races, but he's a man that he never gives up, and obviously if he's in third place at the minute, he's definitely not going to give up at all. He's going to probably actually put more of a fight to just hold down for P3 and stay with his teammate, because I think Ferrari are not too far away from AlphaTauri in the Constructors' Championship, so it's going to help him a lot. Obviously I want 07 to do well for Alfa Romeo, but it's going to be quite a very hard time. His name changer is finally in the session. Hopefully he can get a lap in, but hopefully it won't mess up the lobby, because obviously it can actually do from time to time. When people join lobbies, it can get a little bit messy, but hopefully that will not be the case tonight, as Bunty is now completing a lap, his second run in P7 for now.
Yeah, oh, Stephen's on a run as well, and he's 4.5 tenths up, maybe going around Basmati, Joel's sort of area as well. We'll flick on board with Bunty actually coming through the final couple of corners, 2 tenths up on the run to the line, might trouble Pelly. Doesn't, goes fourth, not a bad lap there at all from him. Back on board with old Stephen, now coming through Sagres and Galp at turn 14 and 15. Not looking too bad at all. Just going to manage that ERS around here, especially on the run toward the line. Not using up any ERS in terms of deployment. Still a 4/10 improvement. Doesn't go ahead actually of Basmati, but only drops in by 1600ths of a second. So not a bad lap there at all from the man from Middlesbrough. Originally from Middlesbrough, of course, old Stephen. 18.8 is his best lap time there. Matuka there in the chat saying how much is left. There is 4.5 minutes to go in this qualifying session. It's Macho out on top, it's Rocco there in second, Pelly there in third. Name Changer, I believe, is just going to wait until and get one lap in. We saw Tom do this, of course, in Monaco last season, where he just joined up, about 5 minutes left to go in this session, came in, did a lap, went about 6:10 to clear ahead of everyone else, won the race, and then got disqualified afterwards. Luckily, Name Changer is not in that position here tonight, but he's there in 15th, and obviously he can try and get that good lap time on board. Are there in the chat as well saying quality's looking good so far, Bunty? Well done. Yeah, Bunty there in fourth, not looking too bad. I had a Bolo and Bobby, which is not looking too bad at all from their perspective. As my controller has just stopped working, going on the left trigger. Not sure if that's a little bit of a glitch that's going on my end. I think it might be, because I can flick it left. Apologies, I was trying to get the Joels and Basmati, who are on laps. Joels is 600 up through the first sector, as Basmati is on a lap as well. But Joels is on a run, and actually I think it's backed off in the middle sector. He has. Joels is backed off in the middle sector. The QL team are not improving, and Basmati in the end not improving as well. But the man who leads the championship has had troubles with his internet so far here tonight. Name Changer now out on a run with 3 minutes to go.
Yeah, and it doesn't look like there's any connections as you by the looks of it. His car is pretty stable, so that's very good. Hopefully he can hold it in the race. You could tell this game is just holding on for life. It was a couple of weeks ago until the new game comes out, only a few weeks' time, but just hanging on there. And obviously Name Changer, I think this will be his only run of the session, and it'll be... sorry, I had a little bit of a code word in my hallway. But yeah, this will be Name Changer's only run in qualifying, and it needs to be a good one, because he's only a few points ahead now compared to a few races ago.
Yeah, let's run on board with them then. Coming out of Primera at turn number 1 now and towards Lagos at turn number 3. Up the hill now and toward the left-hand of turn number 4. This is a very off-camber corner now. Actually on this track, it used to be much thinner, the curve through there. Much thinner in terms of his line, 21.9. He's actually up on what Macho was doing in the first sector. I think has got Bolo just ahead of him, backing off on an outlap. Actually, it's Charlie on an outlap, just backing off there on that set of soft compound of tyre. There is the indicator, by the way, and what tyre everyone is on right now. Name Changer now coming to the right hand of turn number 8 at Samsung, or Craig Jones even. Then there's a Samsung at turn number 9, and then in towards the right hand of turn number 10 at Portimao. And this is not looking a bad lap at all from Name Changer. Current championship leader, leading by 9 points over Macho. His middle sector, 51.7, right up there with Macho. This is going to trouble the leader, I think. Goes deep in towards turn 13, however. Gets the good run on the exit. Very high revs coming through this part of the track. Through now Sagres at turn 14, and in towards Galp at turn number 15, which unlike the corner of Galp, you gulp going down here with the downhill section. Through 15, on the run toward the line with Name Changer. Should go quicker, I think, the Macho here. By an absolute, well, I would say by an absolute country mile. He's only 2200ths of a second ahead of him, and Macho's up.
Yeah, Macho's up by nearly 2 tenths in the middle sector, so this should redeem his pole back position again.
Oh, yeah.
And indeed it is. Yeah, I was on board with him the whole way. He was improving the first and middle sector. So, yeah, redeeming, as always, for the Ferrari driver to make a statement in this championship run. But as we look down the field, as now we've got a huge train in the middle sector, what about the other Ferrari? He's about to start his lap. And the McLaren of Bobby, he's also starting his lap. So whoever's in that train first is going to cross the line to finish their lap. Which I think it could be... No, not Bunty. He's warmed his tyres. Who's next in that train?
I know Rockall's on the lap. Rockall's further down, just coming in towards turn number 9 now at Craig Jones, and then towards turn number 10 at Portimao. He has got an Aston Martin right in front of him, actually out on track. Rockall in the middle sector, 51.8. It's not entirely off what Name Changer's just said. in that middle sector. He's about a tenth and a half down, so he could try and sneak in to the 16s here, maybe a 16.9, 17 flat, something around this range as Rocco now comes through very wide, coming out of Sagres at turn number 14, in towards Galp now at turn number 15. This is looking like a very assured lap from the Red Bull, on the run toward the line then with Rocco, otherwise known as a Salmon Bin Rocco sometimes. Rocco to the line, 16.9, and he does break that 17 barrier, so good lap time from him. Pelly is backed off his lap, so he is done out of this qualifying session. Bunty has just started up on a final run. Bolo as well, he's just actually scraped across the line, literally with milliseconds to go. Bobby 52-1 in the middle sector is the next, I think, to come across the line. There's a Ferrari as well, and Macho, who's actually done on a down lap, he's coming back into the pit lane. So Bobby is next up on track as Charlie is retired, straight on at turn number 1, which is a very, very strange place and clash, and almost intentional.
Yeah, he did back off going across the line, because obviously I don't think he had the pace anymore on the tyres after being holding up the lap before by Stephen in turn 1. So I think he just put the controller down and let the car just let forward. But yeah, Bobby though, up to P4 though, good luck from him.
Bunty! Goodness me, sideways, coming out of turn number 11, just about recovered the car. Just about. Goodness me, it was like 45 degrees nearly the car coming out of the corner there, but Bunty is improving. He was nearly 3/10 up, I think, in that middle sector. Somebody as well on to the line. I think Bobby's just improved to 4th.
Sorry, no, I was on board.
Bunty goes ahead.
On the, yeah, obviously now he's in P4. Yeah, Bunty was right on the track limits there. On the exit of the last corner, so good try to keep that in track limits. He's pretty much on the line. As I see, I think Bulow, who's not on a lap.
Yeah, that's everyone done.
Yeah, that is everyone done, and that is qualifying done for the Portuguese Grand Prix ahead. So, and well, top 2 in the championship. They are in the top 2 in qualifying for the race, but with Macho on top.
Yeah, reverse positions as well between Macho and Name Changer could bring the gap potentially down. So, as it stands, if this race was to finish as it was and the full points be ordered, but it can't obviously because it's against the rules and regulations, but just in theory, Macho would currently be 2 points behind Name Changer going into next week, which I believe is a sprint round if I'm not mistaken as well. I will double check. I'll double check that in the calendar at the end of the stream, but Macho there out on top from Name Changer there in 2nd. 10th and a quarter separating the top 2. Rocco there in 3rd with Bunty in 4th. Bobby there in 5th. Pelly in 6th. Mr. Rage in 7th. Bolo there in 8th. A good 3/10 gap actually down to Joe's there in 9th. And Neil Zarno in 10th. Charlie in 11th. Starting ahead of Ball Boy. God forbid. Hopefully they don't make any contact. Bazmati there in 13th. Tex Rex in 14th. Oh, Stephen there in 15th. Charlie also saying, by the way, in the chat, I thought the checker flag was out more and I could have been P4 with my lap. That's frustrating. What's even more frustrating is if it was the old Formula 1 rules where you couldn't change your tyre, he'd actually be starting on a set of mediums, which would be the better tyre around here.
Yeah, he would have been best of the rest, but unfortunately everyone will be on a fresh set of tyres as well. And it probably an easy one-stop as well from medium to hard. So it's going to be very difficult to get one hand over the other on other drivers here, because even though it's an exciting track, it is pretty much a simple one as well. So you've got to make sure you're in that DRS zone with each other. If you're not, you're going to be in serious trouble for your position from the cars behind.
Yeah, definitely so, definitely so. A reminder as well, coming into tonight, Name Changer does lead on 139 points, Macho in 2nd on 130, so there's 9 points separating them coming into next week. For a little bit of context as well, where we're going in the next couple of rounds of the championship, let me find the calendar, because the Discord is stacked full of other channels that I can't really access. It's Brazil next week. I've been doing a lot of Brazil recently. Brazil next week, and that's the sprint round as well, the second and only other sprint round from here. Miami, Abu Dhabi, and then Saudi Arabia to end off the season. Oh yes, Saudi Arabia to end off the season. I will definitely enjoy that, as now the formation lap is about to get going, and now we begin to see who has been the smartest of the guys in the compound of tyre. And judging by the man in 8th position, I think he's been pretty smart.
In 8th, oh yeah, looking at the tyre compounds, most of the field is on hards, but on the top part of the field they're on hards. Apart from, obviously, we can see right now is Bolo in the Aston Martin. Obviously, he might have a very good start in this race, which could be, obviously, very crucial, because it is kind of like a circuit that it's like Monaco without the barriers. There's only certain places you can overtake, which is the typical turn 1. Obviously, if you're brave enough to go side by side, and the end of the second DRS straight. And I think that it will be pretty much it, so on, so forth around here. But yeah, if he gets that start, well done, and obviously stay in the DRS zones in the head, which he should be very comfortably. I can see him probably being up to P4, P5 in that area at the end of that one.
Yeah, remember his performance as well last week, up until he had that spin and nearly corrected himself out of the wall, as NLR Rudy has somehow just joined, and he's missed the race, unfortunately, from his perspective, so he can spectate. He could be an engineer to name changer if he wants to, but yeah, we couldn't wait for him. I mean, waiting half an hour would have really peed everyone else off, I think, certainly in the Discord. But yeah, back to Bolo. Oh, as Jules has gone for full spin, just trying to get the tyres warmed up in behind. Bolo there in 8th position, set of medium compounder tyres. I would not be surprised if he's, P4, P5 by the end of lap 1. Given how this track is normally in terms of the racing as well, I would not be surprised if we get a safety car in the first couple of corners either, as we now come onto the grid once again. And this is one of the only sites that you rarely see nowadays on Spectator Cam. You can actually see the full amount of the grid and the gantry all together in one shot, which is what I really do like. Anyways,
Yeah,
top 3.
Top 3. I think Macho might hang on with name changer in second. I think the top 2 will be as it stands. But I think Bunty will be in P3.
Interesting. Father Lights now coming out here in Portimao. Round number 9, round number 8 of the championship. And it is eventually Lights and away we go, and a very good start actually by name changer. Good start by old Stephen further down the field. Rocco's now going to pull alongside both of them and actually thread the eye of the needle in towards turn number 1. Can the Red Bull get up the inside? No, he can't. Macho leaves him short of room. Contact, I think, further down the field. Baldwin and Basmati maybe getting caught each other further down, but Macho there leads the way just about from Rocco in second after that sensational start. Hangs it around the outside of name changer, who drops the position. Bunty there in 4th. Bobby there in 5th. Bolo was spun, nearly dropping down the field. Bolo was spun, but I think by himself. Tex Rex and Mr. Rage have certainly been caught up in an incident as well. Charlie as well, and the VSC. VSC deployed out on track purely because Tex Rex has got no front wing, and there's also no front wing for Bolo.
Yeah, and obviously Tex Rex has hit the back of Bolo, but obviously hugging that tight inside line into turn 1, and obviously Bolo lost on traction up the hill on the second DRS straight, so he just dropped out by himself. So unfortunate for him, that strategy has not paid off to be on the mediums. He will, I think you can get the hardest to the end, but it'll be a very bit of a stretch, and obviously hold on to the rest of the field if there is a full safety car at least. But yeah, unfortunate for him. But for the rest, I thought Bobby was going side by side with name changer there, as looks to. Okay, I believe everyone was trying to be side by side with each other. But yeah, it's very cautious start with some of these guys, but for midfield, not so much.
Yeah, midfield, I think it was just one, and then there was a huge knock-on effect in behind, and the ghosting system, I think, failed maybe in terms of that instant. We get back to green flag racing, which is good, because Tex Rex and Bolo have got no front wing. They are all nearly into the back of each other, actually. Tex Rex just about keeps the car in a straight line, but in the end, we're back underway, and we're back into line of stone racing once again. Joe's there on the back of Basmati, looking pretty close on the restart. McLaren there on the back of the Finn. The Finn looking to try and cha-cha-cha his way to victory, unlike Finland in the Eurovision Song Contest on Saturday. Gur, Sweden. Macho leading the way. Rocco in second. Name changer in third. Bobby in fourth. Bunty there in fifth. As Ballboy's going to look for a move on the inside of Joe's, in fact. And gets the job done very nicely indeed. To the inside line. Beautiful in towards Toro Vip. And Ballboy is through. And he's into ninth. And I think there was a brief yellow flag there. I think for Mr. Rage, if I'm not mistaken. Mr. Rage getting the car back going again. Bolo and Tex Rex both in. They're on that side of hard. They will need another safety car, ideally, to get back into the race, as Basmati is all over the back of Neil's on and up the hill into the roller coaster section of turn 10.
Yeah, as Basmati in the Haas driver, isn't he? It's going past, trying to get past Sano there, who is starting on the hards. A little bit straight. Well, he's actually holding on to the Ferrari quite well going into the third lap of this race, where DRS will be available, but not on this pit straight next time out. Obviously, if you're still in the DRS zone, heading to turn 4, I believe, as Macho is extending his gap a little bit, but only by 7/10. So we could just see quite a lot of a very long DRS train all the way down to 11th place here.
Yeah, definitely. So I'm on board with the mid-pack battle, actually. Nilzano, Basmati, Ballboy. Ballboy's looking really quick compared to Basmati and Nilzano. Just keeps up that pace, especially in the middle sector. He looks really good. If he keeps up that pace in the middle sector, and coming out of this part of the track as well, he could look for moves. Speaking of moves, there's Basmati down the inside line of Nilzano, or just about hems him on the outside line, coming through Torre Vip, and now they're side by side out of Torre Vip, in towards this section of the track through 7, and then through the right-hand return and bright, and in the end, I think Nilzano's just going to have to hang him out to dry, and he does, and Nilzano there stays in 7th, but for now, Basmati's still on the back of him, running down as well. Charlie is right on the back of Joel's, in towards the right-hander now of turn number 10, at Portimao, lunges it towards the inside line. Aston Martin does not want to put that front wing up the inside there of the McLaren. In the end, he backed off very nicely indeed. Basmati still on the back of Nilzano, having a battle. Bunty spun out of turn 13. That's a very low geared corner as well. Very easy to do. Bunty found it out.
Yeah, unfortunately for him, he just dropped it ever so slightly.
And Joe's as well.
Off Joe. Yeah, he's gone off as well, and probably get dirty tyres as well. You don't want to be going flat around here with dirty tyres. It will drop her name changes, and I'll setting the pace now to get back to 2nd place, which I don't think he will into turn 1. But now, finally, the Haas driver's got past Sano, who reminded is the only
Sorry to cut you off. Bunty's just gone in the back of Joe's and towards turn 1. Joe's just broke a little bit earlier. Bunty, I think, completely on the overspeed, just rear-ended him slightly. There is a yellow flag, and that's Pelly round. Pelly coming round out of turn number 4. Disappointing for Pelly, running 5, and there's a safety car. Safety car out on track. Now he has... Oh, he's got no front wing. That is why. Pelly has got no front wing. Thought he had a front wing, but in the end he doesn't, and the safety car is deployed. Unless there's been another incident out on track, which there hasn't. It is Pelly that has spun, causing the safety car. And people may argue, a safety car for what exactly, given how that was off track?
Yeah, obviously. Very interesting getting a safety car, because obviously we didn't have it last night with a few crashes. But yeah, very interesting indeed. I don't see the hard tails coming in, but at the same time, I don't think the mediums will come in either, because they probably can stretch this to maybe a medium soft. And I remember, I think it was Sano who did around about 9 or 10 laps on the softs. So I think if with the safety car being like 2 or 3 laps underneath the safety car, extend the tyre life at least, they could make it to a one shot to medium to soft, but that could be a little bit tricky. But we'll have to wait and see about that.
Macho has just done the dirty on Rocco. I'm not sure if Rocco was actually meaning to come in the pit lane. Bulbo and Nilzano are. Rocco was into the pit lane. Set a medium compounder tyres on. Either he has just been done dirty there by Macho in terms of coming in the pit lane, or that was a legitimate pit stop and he was already thinking of doing that. And it'd be very interesting if he's in the top 3 interviews later on. I'll be very interested to find out what that was, because it looked to me he got completely duked into the pit lane.
Yeah, I didn't actually see that, but I think he's just put himself in a lot of trouble, because I don't think the mediums can get to the end from here, so he will have to put himself... well, he can definitely do the soft mediums from this distance anyway, for sure, but he has put himself in a little bit different here, because he's going to be in that DRS train that's not going to be easy to overtake unless you have the good run out of the last corner, which I believe everyone will be using overtake to attack and defend. So I think he's just put himself a lot of bother. If he has, that's quite embarrassing for him to follow Macho, who... is, like you said, it's probably duped him really beautifully.
Yeah, Basmati's just got to be very careful, actually. Lovely camera angle. I've never had this camera angle before around here at turn number 10. Beautiful wide out shot. Beautiful to see. Now they're coming down the hill through turn 11. Basmati's just got to be careful. He looked like he was more than 10 car lengths behind on Bobby, and he's just trying to back Charlie up. He just wants to be careful because he doesn't want to drop too far behind. Otherwise, he'll pick up a penalty, and otherwise it'll have a knock-on effect for everyone else in behind. He's not doing it too often, but Basmati just needs to be aware of that, I think, and be aware, of course, of that rule within Formula 1, as really there has left the session. Of course, didn't participate in the race, probably given Name Changer some very soothing words, I'm absolutely sure of that, but Macho leads the way, Name Changer in second, Bobby there in third. If you wonder as well, as Bobby, I thought was going to come in the pit lane there, tried to juke me, didn't work whatsoever from his perspective. If you're wondering as well about Portimao, this is going to be in the F1 23 game. It is going to be announced as one of the legacy tracks that is going to be included from launch. The other two being, of course, the Shanghai International Circuit, as Charlie gets very close there to the back of Basmati, Shanghai International Circuit, and of course Circuit Paul Ricard in France, which is not on the F1 calendar this season. So this plus Portimao are the three legacy tracks, and I believe as well, I have heard very good rumours that this track is actually going to be laser scanned onto the game, which will make it look even more realistic than what it is on this one.
Well, that's very good to hear then. So everybody will be around this track next season in FRL. But I think, well, me personally, I would love to see Turkey back on the F1 game.
Oh yeah,
everyone's been asking for the past few years, and obviously the legend Germany track as well, Hockenheim, I believe.
Hockenheim, Sepang, yeah. Korea.
Yeah, Korea as well. Yeah, probably if you want to go further. yeah. Oh, India. Oh, back in the day. But maybe even yeah, I wouldn't go that far. Probably back in 2013, where that was actually in the game. But maybe the very old Japan circuit as well. Can't remember where that's from. Not Suzuki, the other one.
Fuji, 2007, I think it was.
Yeah, last time out, and I think there was a wet race that day as well, where the late Lewis Hamilton last took victory there. When I say late Lewis Hamilton, he's not dead, he's just the last one to actually... he's the last to... Okay, 5-second penalty collision with... Okay, that could be removed.
Yeah, I did say that they've got to watch out for each other underneath the safety car restart. Did I not say that? And in the end... Basmati's gone into the back of Bobby. Bobby's the one that's got that 5-second penalty. Machado's the virtual Bermanander. He's the virtual safety car. And I tell you what, he is having a really bad time in these safety car restarts. This is very, very slow compared to what we normally see from a safety car restart. He doesn't want to put it on the borderline of dangerous, because I think, frankly, given that there's been contact further down, the blame could be put on him, with him being, as now he goes, coming out of Galpa turn 15, and Name Changer has a bit of a slide there in the background of shot. Everyone gets back going okay, but Macho there leads the way. Name Changer there in second, Bobby there in third, as Pelly has dropped behind Tex Rex, did overtake, and actually spun, coming out through the final corner, so Pelly has spun on the throttle, I think, so he's further down the field. Bobby there through turn number one, fine, now he's through Maverick turn number one, with Rocco to the inside line. Oh no, Stephen gets the job done, and Neil Darnold coming and cannoning down the inside line, and Mr. Rage gets that move done, tries to go all the way around the outside of Old Stephen, and Old Stephen's just been absolutely May-mullered around the outside. Neil Darnold through, and he's into 9. Old Stephen there in 10th, and Old Stephen now getting absolutely hit on by Mr. Rage around the outside of Torre Vip, and Old Stephen is getting caught out completely here, and he's going to have a 2-for-1 here with Cobra Bolo and Tex Rex, and Old Stephen is dropping down the field like a crocodile in a swamp. He is just completely out of the... Compared to these guys, certainly, he's just dropping down the field so much. He's got Ball Boy in behind. Mr. Rage is now through as well on... sorry, Tex Rex is trying to get through on Mr. Rage. He made a mistake. Joes and Bunty there getting passed by Rocco, and that was surely not a 3 wide in towards Portimao, which I might have just missed, which I think I have. Mr. Rage is through in 11th. Tex Rex in 12th. They're still battling further down the field. We can only keep an eye on so much. Joes and Bunty, they'll have dropped behind Rocco, and Rocco in the end in P6. Not sure if you saw that one, but it looked to me as if it was 3 wide, and Rocco just went down the inside of both of them.
No, I'm watching Tex Rex and Mr. Rage just being side by side throughout this lap, and they're still side by side now, going across the line. It depends who's got the straight line speed going into turn 1.
Mr. Rage.
Sure. Yeah, and hopefully Tex Rex can actually see that he's got the quicker car at the minute.
Yeah.
And he does, but he's compromised his line though, but Steve's not close enough to fail him. So yeah, good side by side action by them too, but unfortunately Steven just dropped down like a stone in water pretty much, unfortunately, down in 13th place. But yeah, Matchy leads the way, followed by Name Changer. Bobby obviously has got a 5-second penalty, which hopefully that will be removed. But the house driver is now fallen down. Charlie's made a good move up to P5. Obviously not made a pit stop like the majority, apart from Rocco. Rocco's up into 6th.
Yeah, Rocco is indeed up to 6th position on the back of Charlie. 6th position is gained for Charlie, 9 for Basmati. They're yet to both come in the pit lane. Rocco, however, in 6th position. If he gets another safety car around lap 19, lap 20, that will be a real blessing in disguise. He can go on to a fresh set of mediums and then go to the end of the race on that fresher compound of tyre as well. So this is not actually doom and gloom for Rocco. He has judged this very, very well indeed. Bit of a sideways moment there, I think, from Bobby in the foreground of shot. But now Rocco is looking to try and get past Charlie coming through Galp at turn 15. On the run toward the line then, on board with Rocco, lap 9 out of 33, and this is easy from Rocco to the inside line. Charlie will not defend this whatsoever, and Rocco is through and he's into P5, and do you know what? He'll get Basmati, I'm going to say, maybe down and towards Torre Vip at turn number 5, which is the left-hander at the end of the first sector, and look at how quick he is compared to Basmati there in front. There's the tyres he's on, 4-lap fresher mediums, surely going to get the move done down the inside line. The DRS is now enabled, and Rocco in the end, call me Mystic James, Rocco in the end is through, and he's into 4th, surely on the brakes. He is, Rocco through, and he's into 4th, as I think Neil Zana was gone for spin coming out of turn 4.
Yeah, brilliant move from Rocco up into 4th already. Yeah, as you said, if there would be another safety car, you can get straight into a new set of mediums and go straight to the end. But he doesn't want the safety car out too early. He wants to get past these guys ahead as quick as he can, because they can easily react as well going on the mediums, as they are all on hards. So it's not all perfect sailing for Rocco just yet. He just needs to wait for he just needs the safety car to sail, not come out for a little bit longer, as now we're seeing clouds coming overhead at this track now. So could we probably see some rain?
No, I think Bobby said it's forecast to be dry in the chat, so I think it is going to be all okay. As Texrex has spun coming out of Sagres at turn number 14, everyone now coming line astern and towards turn 1. Maybe apart from Charlie on the back of Basmati in towards turn number 1. Can't get the move done from now, coming through Primera, but he's now looking up the move in towards turn number 3. Alagos tries to go down the inside line in towards turn number 3. Now through the right-hander turn, the left-hander, sorry, turn number 4. Tries to go around the outside, and he does, because he's got the traction. The hards are now coming into play. This is why I said go on a set of mediums at the start, because in the end, at lap 8, lap 9, they begin to going off, and in the end, everyone in a set of hards is right. Charlie through on Basmati, very easily done. He's through and he's into 5th. Macho there in the lead, Name Changer in 2nd, Bobby there in 3rd. But you are right, the cloud is beginning to build over the circuit, which might mean we've got a little bit of a porky pie, potentially, in Bobby there in 3rd position, with that 5-second penalty telling us lies.
Yeah, unless he's just teasing us, which I don't mind, because we like a little bit of interest in the commentary box, and obviously the spectators watching at home. So hopefully we'll probably see some rain, but Rocco is definitely on a charge, already in the range of 3rd place of Bobby. Still carrying the 5-second as well, but he might get that removed. But surely, they're both on a similar battery. Rocco's just got a little bit more, but I think he's got the straight line speed, and obviously he's going to get DRS and overtake to get through. Bobby's doing a little bit of a wave saying, yeah, I'm going to defend from you no matter what, but I think he's going to hang on for only just for one more lap. But Rocco's definitely on a charge.
Definitely on a charge indeed. Speaking of on a charge, Name Changer was looking on the back there of Macho in towards turn number 1. Didn't get the move done. Macho very wide actually coming out of turn number 4. And now Name Changer could have a look in towards Torre Vip in the hairpin at turn number 5. In the end he can't. Rocco though swings to the inside line on the back of Bobby. Very late on the brakes. Gets the car stopped. And he's just done Bobby for an absolute spring chicken there. Rocco through surely and he's into 3rd. Bobby there in 4th. He's on the outside line. No way he's going to get this move done. That is Rocco through and he's into 3rd. Bobby there in 4th, looking very, very lucky indeed, I've got to say as well. The cloud beginning to build over the circuit. I'm led to believe it is to be dry within this race, unless I'm told otherwise, either in the chat or on the F1 Discord. But Macho there leading, Name Changer in 2nd, and in terms of the ERS as well, Macho's got 38%, 40% actually now coming through the left-hander turn 13. Name Changer's got 16%. If I was in Name Changer's shoes right now, unless there is rain coming, and if there is rain coming, I can understand why he's trying to use up a bit of ERS and get this move done. If there isn't rain coming, I'd be on that battery and actually saving it up, as it looks like now he is close enough to go for the move in towards turn 1. And do you know what? I think Macho is probably not going to fight this in towards turn number 1. Name Changer pulls the inside line into turn number 1, and in the end Macho tries to loop it back under, coming through turn 1 and 2. Reactionary there from Macho. Now they're side by side, the championship leaders, coming out through the left-hander turn number 3, and the right-hander 3. Now through the left-hander turn number 4. Name Changer just about hangs on. Macho's going to have another crack at him though, down in towards turn number 5. But I think he said, you know what? You can come through. I don't mind. I've got more ERS than you. It doesn't really matter.
Yeah, I think he's used it because obviously I think Name Changer was using it because he was such right behind Macho, especially in the middle sector. He probably doesn't have the front end grip just to get the traction out of the corners, which is probably why he's using the overtake just to stay right behind him comfortably. As now we can see Name Changer is putting a gap already, half a second just in a few corners now in the clean air. So I think that's why he was pushing really hard on the battery just to get that move done. But now he needs to try to push still to get ahead of Macho more, unless he's going to use Macho, use the battery, and probably hurt his front tyres.
Yeah, I've asked in the F1 channel, by the way, if it is due to rain. I'm not expecting anybody to go in AI and just reply to me on the fly, but if there is, I can only understand it from Name Changer's perspective, because he's got that move done. Now Macho's in behind and sitting in behind. Rocco and Bobby are actually beginning to get a little bit closer. This gap is beginning to close down. If Rocco and Bobby can get within DRS range, that could mean Charlie, Jones, Basmati, Bolo before the pit stops get into the pit lane as well, and to get within this DRS. The sun is just beginning to come through the clouds once again, so it might just be a little bit of a brief cloudy period coming over the circuit potentially. But Name Changer out on top, Macho there in second, Rocco there in third, Bobby in fourth. Bit of a slide though actually from Name Changer coming out of turn number 5. Joel's there in 6th, Basmati 7th, Bolo in 8th, Bunty 9th, Mr. Rage in 10th, Neil Zarno, then Ballboy, O'Steven, Tex Rex and Pelly there in the top 15. And Hawk has said, I think reflecting real life more than anything else, Portugal didn't have any rain in 8 weeks, so apparently there might not be forecast rain according to the absolute GOAT, the FRL owner at this stage. However, I will not be disheartened if it does rain, because I can only see it from Name Changer's perspective that he's gone for the move, and that's why he thinks it's going to probably rain out on track. He wouldn't have gone for that move if it wasn't.
Yeah, but now Rocco is just a tenth behind the DRS detection zone of Macho already. So, and obviously Bobby is he's just dropped out of the second window now, but I think he was just using the opportunity just to close into the top 2 by staying behind Rocco, which it has worked because he's now 2 seconds ahead of Charlie, but he has got that 5 seconds to serve in the pit lane. The hash driver is now left. Okay, I'll send him an invite.
Yeah, it's all the Finns that seem to be having a problem. I know Rudy mentioned in the chat that he had connection issues as well, which is why he couldn't race here tonight. That's why he joined the lobby on the formation app. Bolo there now on the back of Basmati. I was actually coming on board of his battle because Bunty and Mr. Rage were beginning to catch. The move now happened, of course, because he's an AI. Hopefully Basmati will be able to get in. He is asking for an invite there in the chat, which means he is going to lose 3 positions. He's going to lose, actually, 2 positions, McLaren. 3 positions maybe, because Joe's has gone for a full-on spin, coming out, and actually Mr. Rage is put off completely by not only an AI car, but a ghosting Joe's coming through turn number 8, just about keeps the car in a straight line. Well recovered, my friend, from the CPI man's perspective, but he's there down in 10th, and Basmati in the end might only be losing 2-3 positions here.
Yeah, and I can't invite him either because it says he's already been sent an invite. I think this through the group chat alone, so he has to join through that if he wants to get back in.
We started game. There he is.
Yeah, he is back, but now he's down at 10th place, and if he could just join in, because his AI will begin DRS. Nope, he's coming into the pits, so he's got no choice now.
Oh no! Oh no!
I mean, 14 laps. I mean, around this.
Sorry, I thought Mr. Rage was going down the inside line. Continue.
Well, around this stage,
how's that? Sorry to cut you off again. How's that a 3-second penalty for Joe's? I've just caught that on the stream. He's gone for his full spin again. How the hell is that a 3-second penalty? He didn't even cut the track limits, for goodness sake.
Well, I think he spun in frustration, and now he's getting under pressure by Sarno. Who's on mediums, so I think he's going to be very, very frustrated. But I think that's why he spun out, because he probably didn't understand why he got that 3-second diver. Yeah,
he's... Literally, I was on board with him. Mr. Rage was looking to get the move done on the battle. I'm watching this back on replay, and he's literally gone a millimetre over the track limits coming out of turn number 3. Like, onto the green AstroTurf with the rear left wheel. But that should not be enough to give you a 3-second penalty. I mean, Joe's has just done that now, coming through the left-hander of turn number 11, and he probably hasn't got even anything for that. This just comes to show the flawed strategies, really, of Codemasters and their coding system, as Bunty, on the back of Bolo, was going to look to the outside line in towards turn number 1. Should get the move done to the outside line, and he does. Bunty through, and he's into 6th, and Jules is now in the pit lane, probably retiring out of frustration because of that 3-second penalty, because that's an absolute disgrace.
Well, yeah, totally. Even if you said it was true, that it's just pretty much a normal racing line, then yeah, that is just absurd that Codemasters just let that happen. It's just
oh, Bolo! Oh my God! Sorry to cut you off. He's gone for an absolute dive on the inside line of Bunty, trying to get the job done. In the end, too much. Bolo now back in 6th, and Bunty now puts him back in his place.
Yeah, I think I'm missing all the action because every time I talk, you interrupt, and there's the action. So, but yeah, it seems like there has been good overtakes so far. Texas gets a penalty, yeah, so does Sano as well. Could be another ridiculous penalty, but we have to wait and see. But yeah, it's just a nightmare. It just shows this game has just been not the best in the community at all. Is it going to be lower than 2011 in my opinion? Possibly, because I don't. Even 2011 game, even though the graphics weren't good, but I think the penalties weren't this shocking. As Name Changer has blinked to probably go on the mediums now. Rocco was just behind him. I think he was in range as well, so he's gonna try and get the overcut on Macho, but we'll see where he comes out as he makes his pit stop now. He'd probably just be behind. Would he be behind Ball Boy? We will see as Ball Boy comes.
Yep.
Coming across the line.
He could be side by side with old Stephen here, you know. Oh, Stephen's there.
Oh, I thought because obviously it's an awkward pit lane exit because you're just hugging that inside line, doing like half the speed or 3/4 of the speed than you would normally do. So it's going to be it's going to be actually really interesting when Macho pits because obviously Nature's got the fresher tyres now. He should probably get the position by Macho. If not, it's going to come right side by side. With Macho, then the turn 1, who's going to back out for that one? We'll have to wait and see. But Rocco has still got the pace on those mediums who were 4 laps older previously. So we will see if Macho will have to blink or will he stay out. Because Rocco, I think... Go on.
Go on. I was going to say, personally, Rocco, I think from his perspective, he'd be blinking, coming in the pit lane with Macho, and that's exactly what he's doing. Right on time! And oh my word, what a break! And look at the time he's gained as well! Right on the back. That is how you take a pit stop here in Portimao. However controversial that might be, Rocco has just gained time on Macho. He could come out ahead here. This will be unbelievable. And is he? No, he's just in behind.
He's not,
where's Name Changer, though?
Yeah, Name Changer's coming through the last corner now, and I think he's going to get DRS from Ballboy. No, but he will get slipstream.
He's going to be ahead of both of them. There they are.
Let's see. Oh,
and he's going to be ahead of both of them.
Be close.
Yeah, easy.
Oh. Yeah,
easy. And,
good, easy.
And do you know what?
Go on.
No, he's outside of a second. He's outside of a second as well as Macho and Rocco. That is beautiful from Name Changer's perspective. He's got Ballboy ahead of him potentially to help him. Perfect from his perspective. The only thing is, we've only seen Rocco do 13 laps on a set of mediums. Everyone else, Nilzano now on his 14th lap on that set of mediums. Only thing is, they're going to have to go 16, 17 laps on that set of mediums, especially from Name Changer's perspective. And if I was in his shoes, I'd be worried because Ballboy is holding them up.
Yeah, obviously.
He gets out of the way now.
Ballboy...
Oh no, he doesn't.
Does he? No, he's not pulling away. So Macho's going to close up here as Name Changer goes down the inside. So he gets a move done, which he really needed to do before the others gets close to him. Obviously, Macho might still close up on Name Changer because I believe he will be in DRS zone as Charlie pits.
Yeah, he is.
On the hards. Obviously, now everyone is blinking apart from Bulow in the other Aston Martin. But yeah, obviously they will have to extend this stint, but obviously the car will be probably more lighter now, which you probably get very easy control on your tyres because it's a very light car than it was previously. So yeah, we have to wait and see. Otherwise, it's going to be a very manageable race to the end.
Yeah, and here is Charlie coming out of the pit lane as well. He's going to be out behind old Stephen, but actually that works out really better for him compared to what it is doing for Macho and Rocco. Charlie could come back into play here. Old Stephen probably will be a very worthy adversary, as Mr. Ray just threw on Tex as well down the straight and towards turn number 1. I think they went wide there coming through turn number 1. Saw that on the mini map. Macho on the back of Ballboy.
Yeah, Ballboy's being a very much of a roadblock by these guys, and I think Macho is slightly had a miscommunication. He has
he's
to
had
make a
enough.
move here. Yeah.
He's still there, he's still there, look at the traction, and Neil Zorno's out of the race on the right-hand side. Neil Zorno out on the right-hand side, safety car, and who was ahead? Oh, who was ahead in that? It looked to me as if it was Ballboy that was ahead. Before the safety car came out, Macho, I think given the coding of the game, has got ahead. Lucky if this is the case. Of course, well, we can't take anything above what we're getting right in front of us. But it seems like Macho has got away with that one. He was literally about a front wing behind Ballboy, I think, coming through the left-hand of turn number 9. And in the end, Macho has got ahead of Ballboy. Works out for him really positively indeed. Works out for the guys in the fresh set of mediums very positively indeed, as Ballboy is now in.
And where will Bueller come out with the safety car as well? Because everyone has been at half speed. It probably
ahead of Charlie.
Yeah, definitely, because I think Charlie was ahead of him on track as well. So he's made up 1 or 2 positions up into 4th place, and with the freshest tyres of all, we've seen what Rocco could do on fresh tyres with only 4 laps apart. Yeah, he's only like 3 or 2 laps apart, but by the judge of the tyre life difference, can make all the difference. So I think Bueller could be a little bit of a dark horse. Dark horse. So dark horse. Sorry. Sorry. Oh dear. My child mind. But yeah, I think both of the Aston Martins are in a very, very good position of hunting down probably the top 3. It is going to be a bit of a touch and go. See if they do stay with them. But I think they could be very close.
Yeah, you could have secured that, you know, and just said dark art rather than dark arse. But we'll roll with it. We'll roll with it. Name changes out on top. Macho there in second. Rocco there in third. Neil Zorno, by the way, saying in the chat he had spun and he got rear wing damage as well from that. I believe maybe an incident earlier on in the race that he had. Maybe that spin that he had earlier on in the race. So Neil Zorno with rear wing damage out of the race. So unfortunate. That was coming out of turn number 8 where that happened. We saw what was happening with Macho and Ballboy ahead. Ballboy's now came out in P10, further down the field, behind Basmati, behind Mr. Age. Suits out well, because them guys are not assured to get to the end of the race on that set of mediums. Likewise with the leaders as well. Bolo and Charlie, however, might have just pulled off an absolute blinder. Both Aston Martins. Bolo on 2 lap fresher tyres compared to name changer Macho Rocco. Charlie on a lap younger tyres compared to name changer Macho and Rocco. And if they can hang on and squeeze out all of that advantage that the Aston Martin has got within the DRS range, they are going to be potentially on the podium, maybe even jointly here as well. And this has worked out perfectly from an Aston Martin standpoint.
Yeah, and then if you remember, we didn't really actually have a very competitive time from Charlie in qualifying as well by getting held up by O'Stephen and missed time in his last flying lap as well. So, and he started P11, I believe, and he should really have been up there as well. So I think as a team, they are in a very, very good position. But can they work as a team, though, which would be the next fact at this stage of the race? The safety car should be coming out at the end of this lap with 11 laps to go. So could they work as a team? We will find out.
Yeah, Neil Zorno, by the way, also in the chat saying Pelly hit his back end underneath the first safety car restart, which is why he got rear wing damage and the car was undrivable. I mean, to be fair, if he had rear wing damage, he did really well to hang on to that car for nearly nigh on 10 laps, I think, after that safety car restart. Well done to him for continuing on and just trying to persevere with that rear wing damage. Of course, rear wing damage is going to be a feature, I think, with the new handling model and everything in the new game. And also, as well, there was there's been this whole argument between the League Racing News channel, not Ball Boys League Racing News, different League Racing News, and the F1 23 League. So the safety car is going to come in this lap. The final point about that is they were saying that there's going to be a new brake to come into the pit lane feature, which, given how it's already in the game, I don't know where they got their information from. Comes to show they're not smart.
Well, we just have to wait and see what they surprise, because from me, it's just words to me. You don't really know until you actually play the game yourself to see what's new and what's not new. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to it, and I think it's going to be so much better than this game. But, yeah, that's just my point of view, and obviously we have to just see what the game feels like from our perspective. But that's then, this is now,
Ooh.
And I think name changer is gone already. A little bit of a slide by a couple of people, but it looks very near entirely as Bueller
Oh, look at Rocco! Oh my god, what's happening with
that.
Macho? Macho's going so slow down the straight and he's going to be absolutely eaten up down the straight here by 2 cars. Rocco to the inside line of turn number 1. Bolo there in 3rd. Is Macho disconnecting from the session perhaps? It looks like he's desyncing slightly. Not sure what happened there. Bunty has spun in the background coming through turn number 1. Macho there is still side by side with Charlie. What? Oh, is that Bolo was spun? Bolo's gone on the inside line, and it's 3 wide and towards Torre Vip. Bobby to the inside line of Macho. Macho must have damage or something. Or he's got a real problem with his wheel or something. I don't know what's going on. He's dropping down the field like an absolute stone. Bobby now through and he's into 3rd. Charlie in 4th. Macho there in 5th. And Macho in the end, unless he just hasn't got those tyres warmed up and he's got to come alive in this the final 11, 12 laps of this race. That is a shocking start for Macho, and he is going to be absolutely livid with himself.
Yeah, I think it's similar to Monaco when he had a little bit of a wheel disconnect. He's still struggling for grip on this this flying lap as well, so it's going to be very, very tough to get that position back. Obviously with Charlie on the DRS zone or Bobby, it's going to be very hard to get past him also. So, yeah, so it's going to very unfortunate for him. Hopefully he can recover, but it's going to be very hard to do so. But yeah, there's going to be a massive heartbreak in the championship fight as name changer goes fastest, literally a second ahead of Rocco.
And there's old Stephen on the back of Basmati. Not often you see an F2 driver pass an F1 man in towards turn number 1 here at Primera. Old Stephen hangs on the inside line, gets caught in the inside curb. Basmati's there on the outside line on that side of hard. The chubby old Stephen's moving towards turn number 3. Basmati's not letting this one go whatsoever, but the Brit is now ahead and one quarter of the semi-final playoffs for the championship. Middlesbrough is through 9th position there for old Stephen. Basmati there in 10th. I don't know where I was going with that. Sunderland as well as playing. That is why I'm saying 1 quarter, because I know Sunderland hopefully are going to qualify for the final, for the for the playoffs, and that will be beyond anybody's expectations. That is for sure. Macho is now back up to speed. Not sure what happened. It's almost as if he had, like, I don't know, like a pedal issue or like a steering issue or like force feedback went from him. He literally did not get off the restart whatsoever. I saw with Name Changer went early. Either Macho had a maybe had a spin coming through this corner here at turn 15. I can only think it was more setup related. And now he's so far down the field. I did say at the start of the stream it could be championship changing. It could well be.
Yeah, and obviously with a few races to go, it could make all the difference as Name Changer's just extended his lead now. I think he's just took a half a second out of Rocco as well, so his name changes come off alive on these mediums on this restart as well. And obviously Bobby and Charlie are just on each other nose to tail. Yeah, it's going to be very hard for Macho just to come back from this.
He still doesn't look comfortable out on track. I've got to be honest, he does not look comfortable out on track, as I think Bunty's going to go for the move on Basmati down and towards Torre Vip at turn number 5. He's gone way too late on the brakes, nearly cascades into the side of old Stephen. That would have been one, certainly, for the FRL owner to have a look at himself, I think, if that was going to happen. Bunty there in 10th on the back of old Stephen, the former FRL owner, against, of course, one of the guys in HR. HR would have been coming and suing him, I'm guaranteeing that, because of that incident, if that was going to happen. But Name Changer leading the way, Rocco there in 2nd. This race has now got away from Macho, it seems. Macho just seems maybe happy with himself to run in P3. He still does not look happy out on track, and I know when Macho was on fire, normally you see him on the pace. Considering he's gone into this set of medium compound tyres and had a restart like that, it's just put him back, I think, mentally as well as physically. As I say, I'm not sure what the reason may be. Hopefully we can speak to him a little bit later on, as Paddy's now going to fly past on Bullboy in towards turn 1. Bunty's going to do the same on old Stephen in the background of shot as well. Here comes the Mercedes to the inside line on the Middlesbrough man, and in the end Bunty is through and he's into 9th. Old Stephen there in 10th. Old Stephen's trying to come back at him, but in the end can't, and Bunty through and he's into 9th. But yeah, Macho does not seem happy whatsoever. I know when he is normally on fire, this is a different side of Macho I think we haven't seen really all season.
Well, now I think about it, he didn't really, obviously when he lost the lead to Name Changer, he wasn't really attacking him aggressively. In fact, he actually dropped back quite majestically as well. Probably like 3/10 a lap behind Name Changer at the time. So yeah, I think it could be just a setup issue. The front tyres are not really working underneath the dirty air of Charlie and Bobby ahead, and obviously with them two getting DRS off each other, they're just able to hold on position, not just hold on, but pull away slightly. As we see, Bewley, I think he made a bit of a spin into turn 1, 41 seconds behind, so not a very good day for that part of the Aston Martin. But the other Aston Martin, Charlie, still holding on, probably going to get P3 in a couple of laps time. But you can tell I'm just like, here he comes.
Speed.
A couple of laps time, a couple of seconds time, down in turn 1 and he takes the lead. So
Brilliant move.
Yeah, and I don't think he used overtake as well compared to the battery. 67%
Oh, he did.
battery compared. Oh, we did. Well, either way, Bobby hasn't got any. But I think probably Charlie, if Charlie doesn't know that Macho's got damage, well, handling issues, I should say, he might use Bobby to stay just behind him, just to make it more difficult for Bobby if he uses his mind. But either way, he's up into P3. Could he challenge Rocco? A little bit of a stretch, but I think he might be happy for a P3 for now.
Yeah, I think honestly, if he wants to try and exploit Bobby a little bit, he just tries and pull away right now, because Bobby is on, what, 5% of EOS? Charlie's got 68%. He had 86%, which is why I said he used it up under that overtake. Gained, what, 210 mile an hour, I think it was, down the straight to complete that move as well, so not looking too bad at all from Charlie's perspective. Macho now beginning to finally see something of a resolution, like a rebirth almost. In Macho, he's on the back of Bobby. Yes, he's got more ERS. Yes, this should be an easy move, but that was a big snap coming out of turn 15 at Galp. This should be easy though for Macho down the straight, given that he hasn't really got much straight line speed compared to what Charlie was running at. Macho to the inside line gets the job done. So he's Spoonies into 4th. If I was in Bobby's shoes right now, I wouldn't lunge this into the inside line at turn number 3. Good boy, Bobby. And he's through there in P4. Macho there now, up ahead of Bobby. These two have made collisions though in the past. And given how Bobby wants to try and fight this back, I would not be surprised if there's another collision incoming.
Here he comes.
Here we go. And there is.
As you said, that was a big hit as well. And I think he went on the side of Macho there. I think Macho might have damage. I think, obviously we can't see it, but he might have a very slight damage. It was a big whack on the side as well.
Left side, I think.
Yeah,
oh, Bobby's going for a spin, and now Macho's going to, I think, have a run at him up the hill and towards the roller coaster section, up in towards Portimao at turn number 10. He's going to look for the inside line, not quite, but you can see how the car's just trying to go edge left. That is left side end plate damage, I think, potentially on Macho's car. And I mean, what could be worse, having your arch enemy in front of you and your adversary right in front of you, or getting an absolute, such a poor restart from Macho's perspective that it's put him so far down the field, he's not really fighting out for this race win.
Yeah, and he's missing the apex as well as Macho on that last corner, so I think he has got front wing damage, so that was pretty much a stupid move from Bobby, but here he goes. Bobby's pushing him across the wall. Yeah, very aggressive. I don't know why he's being this aggressive, because I believe he's just going to get past you either way.
Yeah.
So, yeah, there's no point unless you're going to be very sensible about it, which, of course, as usual, well, I'm not going to be afraid to say it, as usual, Bobby doesn't.
Yeah, as usual,
yeah. Because obviously, in the in this game generally, he has been very aggressive, and obviously we can see that now. And that he's not going to probably get any better after the race, I don't think.
No, and I think if there is an incident between them both, he's got really nobody to blame but himself. And that's just the part and parcel of it. Macho is a much experienced driver than Bobby. Bobby is there in terms of the EOS. I think Macho just wants to try and get away with him. He's like, go away, I don't want you on my rear end. I just want to try and catch Charlie ahead. But because he's burned out that battery, because of, Bobby has burned out that battery as well, in the end, 4th and 5th position is sort of, for Bobby, it's a really good result, don't get me wrong. For Macho, it's a race left wanting, I think, and honestly, from Macho's perspective, I think he'll hold on to 4th now from Bobby. If he can find some sort of pace in the final closing stage of this race, if there's a safety car and it groups the field together, then Macho's got another chance. But otherwise, it's potentially 25 points that have gone completely and utterly missing, which is just a shame from Macho's perspective, as Basmati is on the back of old Stephen further down the field. He's on that ton of hard compounder tyres. Old Stephen on that ton of mediums realises that he is closing quick enough to get the move done in towards turn 1, and the Finn tries to pass the inside line of the Alfa Romeo even, and old Stephen tries to battle this around the outside of turn number 3. This would be a good move. You can pull this off, but Basmati says, no, you're not coming through. Basmati through and he's into 10th. Old Stephen gets a better run. but he's not on the ERS quick enough, and he's not going to get the job done.
Well, he's actually having a very good race though, Stephen, actually. He's actually fighting for a point in F1. Obviously, very surprising. I know we had a few retirements here and there, but he's actually having a really good race and actually fighting with the Haas driver as well. So he's not on his own at all with this race in F1, reminder. So yeah, he's done a very good race so far. I hope he can keep at it, as Bolo is now being lapped by pretty much everyone, but I think it's just racing just for fastest lap in general now. But yeah, name changer now, nearly 2 seconds out of Rocco, and Charlie is slowly closing the gap, but Macho is holding stationary. He's not really closing up at all, but he's going to get DRS though from Buelow, which is Charlie's teammate, so not going to be a very helpful teammate at the minute, because he's just helping his rival close up to him.
Yeah, definitely so. Semi-final playoff update, by the way. Someone's getting beat 1-0 off Luton. Absolutely terrible. Name changer leads. Rocco second. Charlie there in third. Not that these guys care. Not that Michael cares alongside me in the commentary box. I just thought I'd mention that on the stream just for my own well-being, as Bobby is still on the back of Macho. Can't get the job done. Bunty there on the back of Pelly as well. We were 2-1 up, by the way, after the first leg. So it's now 2-2 in terms of the aggregate score. And I will listen to the match after this race. To think that it was Eurovision last week and we were seeing intercontinental ballistic missiles, but there we are.
Well, coming from a Portugal fan, I'm not really too fussed if something goes up after the rivalry in not in F1, League One.
Yeah, League One. Yeah.
Yeah, and obviously living up there myself, know a few friends up there, so quite a rivalry. But yeah, back to F1. The name changer, I think he's just holding stationary for now. The gap is slowly come down by 2/10, which is 1.7 seconds.
Yellow flag.
Charlie.
Bolo.
Yeah, Bolo just getting out of the way. Charlie, still 2 seconds. But Macho, he's got out of battery, and I don't think he's going to close up anytime soon, because obviously he did close up the lap before, but that's because of help of Charlie's teammate with the DRS. And obviously Bobby is still trying to hang on, but these two are not saving any battery. I think they're just trying to hold on and get away from each other pretty much.
Yellow flag is for Mr. Rager was spun. Where was that? Turn number 1. Oh, and Aston Martin goes for spin as well. Is that Bolo again that has gone for spin? Yes. It is indeed. Bolo just about escapes across the intersection of turn number 3 there. Just about escapes without with his life pretty much there intact. Yeah, Bobby I think had a slight spin. Mr. Rage certainly had a spin. He's now down in 9th position. I was going to say Bunty was on the back of Pelly before that as well. He is still on the back. He's about 5/10 away. But Bunty has now got more ERS compared to Pelly. So we can try and use that up to his good effect. And remember, with Pelly, he has got that 3-second penalty. Bobby's 5-second penalty, by the way, for that pit lane, for that incident with Basmati, I think it was, has been taken away. So regardless if he wants that removed, it's already been taken away in game, so he can't actually get that removed.
Yeah, if so, he would have been probably P3 as well. So that wouldn't be very unfair at all. Sorry. But yeah, Bunty is probably get the move down from turn 1 on the Ferrari to P6. But he has got a penalty across his name either way, so he probably loses the position. He's still trying to fight it. Here comes Bunty. He's going to make a dive down the turn 1, late move.
Beautiful. Oh, but no!
Oh no!
Kelly, no!
He tried to do the switch back, but he forgot about the sausage curb into turn 1, which pretty much karma for that move. Pretty much, it was a nice idea, but yeah, unfortunately, he's lost the position to Bunty and to Ballboy and to Mr. Rage, of course. But he's still in the points regardless. But yeah, Macho is not gaining at all, so I think this could be the final positions apart from for P7.
Yeah, P7 Ballboy I think has done a fair race, as Bunty's just picked up a 3-second penalty, which could make things interesting if Ballboy's on the pace compared to Bunty, which I don't think he is, so I think Bunty might just get away with that potentially. He's got a second to try and close up Ballboy compared to Bunty ahead. But yeah, final lap about to begin here in Portugal. It's not really been the most exciting of races, has it now? But Name Changer leads the way, 1.5 seconds the gap. He's controlling things out in front. Rocco's on the battery trying to use up. He's got better straight line speed as Rocco, which is why the gap is beginning to close slightly. Not down the straight this time around, however. Yellow flag in sector 3 is for Bobby, who was spun. Is that a puncture potentially through the final corner? Let's have a look. Bunty is now through and he's into 5th. Ballboy now is dropping back down. That is not a puncture for Bobby, unfortunately. Fortunately for him, as Bunty has gone for a spin. Bunty goes for a spin through turn number 1. What on earth is going on now? Mr. Rage and Ballboy all of a sudden are now having their battle for P6 all of a sudden. Race is just absolutely spiced up. I did say it wasn't the most exciting race, and now we're getting spins galore as Pelly has gone for a spin as well further down the field. Yeah. Name Changer leads Rocco second, Charlie in third, final half a lap.
Yeah, it's all kicking off here. Will Mr. Rage go for P6 now? On Ballboy. He hasn't got the battery to attack though. Ballboy has, only by slump as Pella is still at P11. He's just hanging around in the last sector. As Mr. Rage gets 3-second penalty, so that's position done and dusted.
Pelly just wants to come on by himself. Do not blame him. Name Changer, by the way, has already come on by himself, coming through the final corner. Unless he spins out the final corner, he is now going to take the race win here in Portugal. Name Changer to line, extends his championship lead and takes the win in Portugal. Rocco there in second, and a very, very happy FRL Charlie there in third. Macho there in fourth. Pelly has got a 5-second penalty for an unserved pit lane, and has picked up a 5-second time penalty again for an unserved penalty, and he had a 10-second penalty exceeding track limits. You cannot have a worse race than him. He's there in 11th. Bobby ahead of Bullboy there in 5th and 6th. Bunty there is dropping down the field. He has had a very late moment, I think, potentially in terms of that penalty, so that is why Bullboy now is ahead. And Bunty in the end finishing in P9. What we are going to do in a bit of a change up to what we've done in recent weeks is Charlie, I think, is deserving definitely of driver of the day. What we will do is we'll interview the front three plus Macho, because I really want to get from that safety car restart what happened with Macho, I think, from his perspective. That's the only reason I do want to interview him, finishing in P4 in the end.
I will invite them.
Perfect. Perfect stuff. Yeah, a little bit of a change up. If you don't get an invite, you're not invited to the interviews. And plus, I want to watch the Sunday match as well. So, yeah. Our Name Changer, though, does take the race win here in Portugal. And because of Macho finishing there down in 4th position, Name Changer now extends the gap, I believe, to 22 points, if my maths is correct. 25 for the win. Not sure who got fast to that point, but the champagne flows here in Portugal, in the Algarve. A Name Changer deserves that race win, deserves the race result as well. Did a fantastic job, dominated from the front, and could not think of anybody better to take the race win out on track. But yeah, it's Name Changer who takes the win. He didn't pick up the fastest lap in the end. Rocco there in 2nd, Charlie there in 3rd, Macho there in 4th, Bobby there in 5th, Bullboy there in 6th with Mr. Rage in 7th, Basmati there in 8th, Bunty there in 9th. Oh, Stephen ran off the top 10. It's Bolo who gets the fastest lap point there, down in 11th, and 19 flat, and beaten Name Changer by about a 10th of a second there in terms of that fastest lap. Pelly there in 12th, finishing a lap down and coming home pretty much on his lonesome as well. Texrex, Neil Zano and Joes were the 15 drivers, 3 of them of course at the bottom, DNFing out on track, as we will wait for everyone to join us here in the interviews party for the top 3 and indeed for Macho as well, finishing in 4th. But it's Name Changer who takes the win. Rocco there in 2nd. Rocco did a very good job to start catching to the back of Name Changer. Maybe Name Changer's tyres were going slightly towards the end, but I'm sure we will find out in due course from the guys as soon as they join us. But Michael, an interesting race in Portugal. Not really much overtaking apart from what we saw down the straight. Not really a lot of action either until the final lap of the race and a few spins. What can we expect then going into next week in Brazil? Because Brazil, judging by what I have seen in recent days and recent weeks, normally is quite a good track for overtaking, and there's normally quite a lot of rain as well.
Yeah, and obviously it is a sprint race as well. Next week is going in, so it's going to be very interesting where position will be after one shot of qualifying, and obviously the sprint as well. Let's see if anyone can reach some mediums, reach the stops to the end of the sprint race. But yeah, it's going to be a lot of overtaking, I believe, which when you look at Brazil, it's not really, doesn't look like it should be an overtaking place, but it certainly is, and I think you can go side by side throughout the lap if you're a very fair driver. So it's going to be very exciting, and hopefully, fingers crossed, there will be wet weather involved.
Yeah, hopefully there will be weather involved indeed, as we can now speak to the guys who are in the party, and we're going to speak, of course, to the man who finished in the end in P1. It is Mr. NLR Name Changer, a Name Changer in the end, from Monza to this, completely different.
Well, kind of. Don't jump start around.
you were right down the back of the field last week, and you take the P1. It couldn't be a complete change of fortunes for you.
Well, I mean, yeah, it's fine, but it's kind of there could have been a better. Well, there could have been a fight between me, Mako, and Rocco then, but yeah. I mean, what about the race? Like, you know, I got disconnected on qualifying, so I just, well, did the one run, got second, and then like the race was just between like me, Mako, and Rocco. Yeah, well, Macho had a disconnect, like wheel disconnect after a second safety car, so that screwed him over. And well, what? Like Rocco kept me honest until the end, but yeah, it's much like small race highlight, I guess.
Yeah, you just had more pace as well compared to Rocco in the end of the race as well. I think the gap was down at 1.2 seconds at the end. Were you fearful that your tyres were beginning to go off? Because it looked like they were towards the last couple of laps there.
Nah, the tyres were fine. It was just, I was like saving up ERS, just in case like Rocco would catch me, but well, he didn't, so...
He didn't, yeah,
but
and...
No.
Yeah, he didn't, and he finished there in second position. We'll get his interview, of course, very shortly indeed. Michael, any questions?
Unfortunately, I did leave just to take some tablets, so I didn't actually hear what you said, so I don't want to really repeat, but, well, congratulations on your race win. Obviously, very good conservative battery. Did you think, I don't know if James mentioned this, but did you thought it was going to rain halfway through the race, because obviously it was getting very cloudy?
Nope, I saw like the race weather, so yeah, just clean, so.
Alright, because obviously you've done your barrier move before, there could be some rain on the way, hence why you got past Macho quite very early on than you expected. So, but after you got the move done, it was pretty much smooth sailing by your perspective, because you were pretty much unstoppable after you took the race win. Well, race lead, sorry.
I mean, yeah, kind of, yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm
am I
not really
supposed to comment something now?
No, sorry, I'm not feeling 100% well, so I do apologise, but yeah.
Alright, well, take care, I guess.
I'm not dying, but I'm going to Brazil next week. Obviously, there could be a lot of overtaking going on. Do you think it could be an exciting race for you, despite being like a sprint weekend?
Well, I guess it's up to next week. I'll just enjoy on this win for now. See what happens.
Well, you sound out of breath, but and they're happy you got the race win. And congratulations on extending your championship lead.
Well, thanks. Thanks for that commentary. That was well, very professional.
You are very welcome indeed. We will now speak to the man who has had the nickname of Osama bin Rocco in the back in the past, but he finished here, of course, in P2 with a very good performance. It is, of course, Rocco Reggie for real, and Rocco in the end, P2, getting closer to the name changer at the end. Did you think you were going to win that race and try and challenge him?
Absolutely not. I was just happy to be there, to be honest.
Yeah, you were happy to be there, and obviously under that first safety car, you were on the back of both Macho and I believe name changer as well. I was going to say your name again for some reason. You're getting very popular from me tonight. But you were on the back of the first safety car restart. Did those safety cars either help you or hinder you in terms of your makeup, in terms of your strategy?
I think they helped. Well, the first one I decided to change my strategy because I knew I went quicker than Macho and Messina. Too quick. So yeah, I thought I'd go medium, and then I managed to make some pretty good moves, to be fair, on the mediums straight away to get up close to them, and then they started fighting, so I managed to just get in DRS as soon as they pit. But yeah, second safety car, I think we would have stayed in the train if Macho didn't disconnect or AI, whatever he was doing. But so I had to use to get past his AI, and then name changer was too quick with the ERS he had, so he got away.
Yeah, way too quick, unfortunately, indeed. And obviously, finishing in P2. Portugal, you've had a pretty much a love-hate relationship, I think, within the past. You've done well around here, you haven't done so well. So to pick up P2 and to land yourself potentially in a fight for the midpoint, going into the midpoint of the season, must fill you with a bit of confidence going forward.
Yeah, I'm just going to try and stay in get some decent points to the end of the season, because I ain't going to be any fight or anything. So I only done like last week, and I drove awfully, so...
We see two sides of you, though. It's the Rocco guarantee that we have in FRL. We see two sides of you, one week and then one the other week. But who knows?
You see it every Saturday as well, you get the different sides of it. This season I've been lucky on a Saturday, so I've looked a bit better, but, you know...
You've been very lucky on a Saturday. You've had me in the commentary box for 8 seasons. That's probably why.
That's true.
Michael, any questions?
Yeah, obviously you did meant to pit on the first safety car, didn't you? Because James was very excited thinking Macho dummied you into the pit lane. So that was part of the plan, going in the pit straight away, wasn't it?
I did see him dummy, but yeah, I was going to go in anyway.
Right, and
so I knew I was quicker than the people
but...
behind. But the people in front were too quick.
Okay, and obviously when the leaders pit for their first run, I was really surprised you did come in. Yeah, they were on the hards and you were on medium, so it was kind of pretty much a level playing field. But if you knew you were just like a couple of tenths slower race pace was, wouldn't it be just taking the risk of just staying out a few laps, hoping there would have been a safety car? And obviously about 3 laps later there was. So do you not want to take that gamble, or was that just too much to risk?
But as soon as I caught them right at the end, when they did pit, my tyres were going off as well. Like, so they were near enough the same pace as me. Like, I guess I could have stayed out, but the tyres weren't great at that point.
Right, and good pit lane entry as well. If I may say so, beyond Macho.
Yeah, almost hit Macho.
Yeah, we didn't see that lock on the left.
He was a bit cautious, but yeah, I was mostly closed 9 tenths on the pit lane entry. I was like, whoa.
Yeah, but congratulations there, and it all paid off, which we didn't think it could have been very easy despite having a DRS train, so well done for your P2. As we go to Brazil next week, obviously the sprint race as well. How do you think you're going to do through that?
If it's dry, I think I might be in the top 5 maybe, if I'm lucky. I had a race there on the weekend, I was alright, but it rained, and I wasn't very good in the rain, so we'll see.
Well, we'll see indeed. But congratulations on your P2 this evening, and hopefully you can continue on your podium success next week.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, he prefers the dry to the wet, let me tell you that. So hopefully if it's dry next week, he's going to be on the podium once again next week. I'm guaranteed of that. We can now speak to the man who has pretty much produced, I think, the underdog performance of the night. It is FRL Charlie, finishing there in P3. And Charlie, I think I said in commentary with you and Bolo in terms of the Aston Martins, you worked out a really good strategy between you both. You put it, I think, a lap later or a lap earlier than Bolo. That really worked out to your advantage given how the safety cars came out.
I mean, it certainly wasn't planned. I was tempted to stay out an extra lap because I felt like there was going to be something that was going to happen on that lap, and it did in the end, which I absolutely regretted coming into the pit lane. So I wasn't expecting it to be Neil Sano, because once again he got rear wing damage like he did last night and ended up just spinning out everywhere and crashing. But it was a little bit frustrating because considering I was a lot more quicker than Bulo throughout the whole race, I was worried that he was going to massively hold me up. But then when we restarted, I don't know what on earth happened with Macho, because I just saw him in AR and I was like, what on earth's going on with him? Has he got an issue with his wheel damage? And I've been told it was damage from Bobby, but sometimes Bobby can be a bit of a liar.
No, I wouldn't say that's true.
Yeah, I mean he probably got damage after the dive bomb, but yeah, but yeah, Bulo. I mean, unfortunate for him to spin, because he definitely would have been fine for a good top 5 finish, I reckon, like we did last week. But considering it's been so many months and seasons since my last podium in FRL, I can't just... I had to take it. I had to absolutely take it and go for it, because this was a track that I knew was probably one of my last chances to get a podium at, and it finally happened.
Yeah, if final happened for you, and even up until that point, you were fighting at least for a good top 5 finish, which I think was phenomenal to watch. And obviously, we had that second safety car. We saw what happened with Macho. I'm led to believe, I think it's a wheel disconnect. We'll speak to him, of course, in a second about that. But you must have been really surprised, given how he just dropped down the field like a stone, and then suddenly you were up in P3.
Yeah, once I saw that I was about 1 or 2 tenths quicker than him, I was instantly knowing that he has some sort of damage or wheel kind of issue. So I just pushed it to the limit, but then I started doing it a bit too much because I did have a bit of a small moment on the last lap, and I got a warning a few laps before that. So after the warning, I was like, okay, just take it easy, get things. Because I was catching up to Rocco for second, but I didn't think it was going to be quick enough since I was also saving up the battery just in case Macho did close in, so then I can just use it to pull back away. So I was watching the stream in front of me, pretty much had nothing to use after battling with Bobby, which was very useful as well. But yeah, definitely unfortunate for Macho whatever happened on the restart.
Yeah, really unfortunate from his perspective. I don't know why Bobby was being so aggressive to him either, given how the hatred has been filling up between them both in the past here in FRL. Certainly from Bobby's end, I think it was a little bit too aggressive. Macho did everything in his power just to get away from him, the poor soul. But yeah, Michael, any questions?
Go on, Luton. Oh, sorry, I'm watching the game.
I think they're winning 2-0, aren't they?
No, Lily did. But yeah, congratulations on your third place though, in a long time getting a podium, which is truly deserving. But obviously, I had to go back to qualifying though, because obviously you didn't really have the smoothest of qualifying either. You got held up by Stephen on your first soft run, which I don't think was intentional, and obviously you didn't have the best run on your second run either, thinking that you didn't have another lap in. So, if you did get that perfect lap in, do you think you could have beaten Rocco, or maybe a slim chance for a win?
Well, I know where I would have been. I would have been 4th, but I feel like at the start, I think I would have just stayed where I was because I would have been in a crucial position in turn 1, because being on the insiders wouldn't have been a really great thing. But either way, I still got a bit messy on the start because I'm trying to think which Fantarry it was. I think it was Mr. Rage. He spun ahead of me in turn, I think turn 3 or turn 4, and then I just slammed on the brakes because I had nowhere to go. I slightly tapped him whilst he was sideways, and then Tex Rex, and then someone else, which I think it was Bueller, but I think Bueller just crashed by himself. The Tex Rex just completely smashed into the back of me, and I was like, Jesus, was he not aware that there was a guy spinning in front of me? So I was lucky not to get any damage, which I was quite surprised at, because I was like, oh, I've definitely got damage, but somehow I didn't.
Yeah, thank God he didn't, because obviously you wouldn't have got a podium this evening, I don't think. But well done for your P3. If you do attend to race, because obviously, have you done GCSEs, or you're still another lot to do?
I did one today. I've got them till the 16th of June now, but most of them aren't actually on Tuesdays, so I may be able to make time for it. And obviously I have that announcement to make, which I'll probably do after Macho's interview, I reckon, maybe.
Oh no. I know what it is already, I think.
He's a vegetarian now. But but obviously heading into next week though, Brazil, the last sprint race of the season, I believe. Hopefully it'll be a nice clear afternoon on that day. Are you hoping to maybe challenge for a podium again, or are you hoping for something more?
I think if I manage to get one more podium, then that would be phenomenal. But I think I'll just try to settle to stay within my P7, because obviously I haven't finished below that at all yet still this season. So if I'm able to not finish anywhere below that, then that would be absolutely fantastic. So I think that the main goal is to just stay consistent like I have been throughout the whole season and try to get that 3rd place.
Well, hopefully you will repeat that, and obviously congratulations on your P3 this afternoon, and we will see you next week.
We will indeed, as we now move on to the man who finished, unfortunately, I think, in P4. It is Mr. NSX Macho. And Macho, I said in commentary I thought it was a wheel disconnect. What happened?
Yeah, it was a wheel disconnect. Yeah, it was a wheel disconnect. So yeah, nothing really I could have done. I don't know. The technology is letting me down. I guess it's because I'm in a Ferrari. But yeah, that's 2 races now in.
Sorry, I have to give you a round of applause for that. That's so synchronized.
But yeah, anyway, I've cooled down now a bit. I was kind of pissed off because, yeah, I don't know how many races we've done in the season, but I've had 2 races without any problems. I won them both. The rest of the races have been absolutely terrible, and I'm still technically in the championship battle. But yeah, I told Messina after the race that I won't drive again after this, but I need to contemplate, cool down a bit, enjoy next week. Messina's actually coming over tomorrow, so yeah,
exactly.
I guess I'll see him. But yeah, I really need to just fix, I guess, the problem, but I don't know really like what I can fix about it, since I don't press any buttons that's turning off the wheel, but it just does that. And yeah, it's kind of unfortunate.
Yeah, I wouldn't know about wheel technology, unfortunately. I'm a pad man through and through, so unfortunately you're going to get no answers from me with regard to that. But yeah, you really should, I think, contemplate. Yeah, I don't think you should contemplate your future. You are a fantastic driver. I think FRL will be at a big loss without you. And you're still in that championship fight, which I think is more valuable than anything. You're only, I think, 22 points behind. That's still less than a race wins advantage. So when you put it that way, you will, I'm sure, will be back next week and fighting along the likes, alongside the likes of Rocco and indeed of Mr. Messina once again. But up until that point, before that wheel disconnect, you were having a fantastic race. You were right on the back of Name Changer, led underneath the first safety car. Talk us through it, because it sort of, when you had that wheel disconnect, it just put you out of that frame of mind. But up until that point, you were driving the race perfectly.
Yeah, well, I think on Portimao the differences are like very small anyway, so to make a gap, it's kind of hard. But yeah, me and Messina were having a good battle as per usual, as we've had actually the whole season. But like, it's been either like one of us having a problem on every race. So yeah, Messina disconnects on a quali, I get the disconnect from the wheel in the race, and I guess it's just not been perfect season, let's keep it like that. But yeah, I guess it was a good race, just trying to keep up. I was running a bit the higher wings, so I was losing a bit on the straight, so I had to, yeah, absolutely like use the battery when I was behind. And then when I had the wheel disconnect, I was standing up like out of the play seat, and then you're totally out of your rhythm, so like you have to get back in, restart the wheel, and yeah, you're out of it then, because obviously I've been sitting there for like 35 minutes, and then when you suddenly stand up, you just, I don't know, it's weird, but you just lose a bit of time as well, because you're out of that rhythm. Yeah, and then with Bobby, I don't know what he was thinking. That was from like, I don't know even how many tens away, like maybe even 5 to 6 tens. Yeah, I had to avoid him, otherwise we had a collision again, and I've seen that. It's a closed book. But yeah, he kind of messed up the P3, shot at P2, like we don't know, but yeah, P4, it's not what we're here for, at least.
No, definitely not. Definitely not. It's a race to forget about, and I know you've had many races like that, I think, last season, where it's just got away from you, and it all adds up over the season. But we've still got 4 rounds to go, of course, in the championship. It's Brazil next week, sprint race and feature, so more points available. How do you think you're going to get on around there if you are going to be driving?
I guess I'm going to first enjoy this week, just only having good things on the planning, like doing fun things, Pelly, me, Christina. I don't know who will join in, we'll see anyway.
Can I come?
I'll speak to no, you can always come, but yeah, we'll see what happens, and if I'm there next week, I mean, I guess it's Brazil, and the margins are very small around there as well, so yeah, could go all the ways.
Yeah, you never know. It could be like Monza again for Name Changer, and it could be the sort of race where he just drops down the field, picks up P6, you take the race win, and you're back in the championship fight. It can literally change like that.
Well, I guess if they let me know like in front of the race that it's gonna rain, I am definitely gonna be there because I love the rain. But well, the rain gods don't got me on that. But yeah, we'll see anyway. And you know, yeah, it needs to be fun and social. But this was definitely not fun.
I will set up the lobby in advance, knowing that there's going to be rain in Brazil. I'll make you feel much happier, and probably try and throw it in your way. I think next week.
Well, yeah, I don't want to say, but there's a good opportunity at least. Yeah.
There's a good opportunity. That is good to hear. Go and enjoy your evening, and I'm sure you will go and enjoy your week with Messina and Pelly and the likes as well.
Yeah, thank you, and thanks for comms.
You are very welcome indeed, and that rounds us off very neatly for FRL F1 for round number 8 here in Portugal. But I believe Charlie has got an announcement he wants to make, which is unannounced, I may add.
Yeah, so considering the finish that I had tonight, it's a bit weird announcing this now, but unfortunately at the end of the season I will be retiring from FRL as a whole.
Which, I think, with the speechlessness that he's left us in, is no surprise, because I knew I saw that coming from an absolute mile off, to be honest. But no, I think you've been an absolute avid professional, I think, within FRL. You've really enjoyed the racing here. Life comes first, and I think you're going to be moving on to bigger and better things in terms of your life, which is fully understandable. And I mean, this is just a side hobby. It's a side hustle for most of us these days, and people don't really talk about mental health or anything like that. And with the knock-on effect with exams and everything, are you going to be doing your A-levels by any chance?
Can you just repeat that, because you just cut out there?
Oh, my cutting out. Sorry, I'll replug my mic.
For me, you did anyway. I don't know if it was for anyone else.
I should be back there. That should be okay. Am I coming through okay? Change about that now. Can't even hear me.
It's fine for me, so...
There we go. There we go, he can hear me. That's good. That is good. Yeah, I was just saying, are you going to be doing, like, A-levels and everything moving forward?
I'm just going to try sort everything out with college and stuff to make sure that obviously I keep my future alive, so... But I may return. You never know, I may return. I have said it to some other people privately, so... Because I'm most likely going to take part in the GT Sport, or GT7 League that they might do, depending on when that is, but... for now, it's mainly just focusing on my future in life.
Yeah, and I think, as I was saying there, life comes first. And as I say, for many of us, this is just a side hustle. This is just a hobby that most of us have. Commentary, driving, whatever it is. People come across and are connected in one way and one way only, and that is for the passion and the love of motorsport, and hopefully we can all share that passion, I think, moving forward as well. But on your behalf, Charlie, I think I just want to say thank you for being part of FRL. You've still got 4 races, unfortunately, left with us until the end of the season. Hopefully you'll be turning up and doing all of them, and maybe even picking up a podium or 2 along the way as well. But no, you've been an absolute professional. It's been a pleasure commentating on you throughout, I think, your entire driving career, pretty much, and probably have hated me sometimes, but you are an absolute gentleman. You are going to go far in life, an absolute guarantee of that, and I am sure we would all like to wish you the best, certainly from all of us here at FRL, with what you have got planned moving forward.
Yeah, and I wish all of you guys luck, and obviously all of you guys have supported me here in FRL. The FRL kind of feels like a home to me, considering this was the first place I joined for my league racing, so this definitely feels like a place I can always come to whenever bit down. But you know, I hope you guys obviously managed to figure everything out in the future. Obviously we've been struggling with the drivers, so hopefully in the future that can be improved whilst I'm gone.
Yeah, and it definitely will be. It definitely will be. And I know with the new game coming out a month, I think, from today, just albeit as well, your final date for your exam as well, which I think is very nice indeed, because you can celebrate absolutely smashing your lap up in terms of time trial, in terms of the new wheel technology and front controller technology and whatever that game has gone in full. But yeah, it's going to be fantastic, I think, for FRL moving forward. I've got a hot footed to a meeting with Hawk and Matcha, which I'm delaying because we're keeping the stream alive for everyone to talk. But shall I end it off here? I may as well, unless Michael's got anything.
Nope.
He just wants his open numbers.
No, I'm alright. But yeah, well done for your career, obviously, in FRL, Charlie. But I don't think this will be the last time we'll hear from you, because obviously I think you will be here, thereabouts, but I think for the near future we will be missing you deeply, but we probably will see him maybe at best 2 years' time, but that is a very long time away. But until then, I really hope it all works out for you outside of racing.
Yeah, thank you for that.
Now eat your pizza.
For God's sake. I ain't got pizza.
Oh, no,
and I think with the celebrations that Charlie's going to be having right now, I think it's best to end it off here before we get past the watershed at 9 o'clock. But big thank you, of course, to Mr. Michael F1 for joining me in the commentary box as always. We've got Brazil to look forward to, of course, next week for the sprint and indeed the feature race. Hope you can join us, of course, F2 on live at 7 PM UK time. And if there is need for a commentator, I could be there for F2 next week, just saying. So if anybody does want to back out, Charlie, I'm looking at you. I might be there next week for FRL F2 because PSGL is now finished, so I'm now free on a Monday, which is very, very good, and I can help out FRL as much as possible until the end of the season. And of course, F1 is live at 7 PM UK time on Tuesday as well, with maybe your favourite drivers like Bullboy57, Name Changer, and Macho Racing next week in Brazil. Just because they're here all in the party, I may as well mention them. I'm going to end it off here, though. We are going to hot foot it over to a small meeting that I think we're going to have in the background. But until then, thank you so much for watching. Until Brazil, of course, next week, it is goodbye.